We'll get started in a second. In just a moment. Alrighty, hello everyone. This is actually going to be a live forecast just because I thought, why not? I mean, I do this regular recording anyway, so might as well make it live so that I can get some actual live comments from everyone that's watching. But this is to give a quick update on what's going on with Christmas. First of all, Merry Christmas to everyone. Hopefully you're not dreaming of a white Christmas this year, because it's most likely we're not going to get one. But later on, coming into New Year's, it looks like we're going to have some thunderstorms that are going to be, not thunderstorms, we're going to have some snow that will be coming in. We're going to have a trough of colder air that's finally going to build in. It has been a very abnormally warm December. We've had 4 different heat waves come through, well, the 4th one coming Christmas Eve. And it's just been causing all kinds of wild weather across the area that we just haven't seen in such a long time. So I'm going to give you all updates on that and how the weather is going to be changing over the course of the next month. First of all, just a reminder, all those different areas or those different platforms we are available on. If you're watching on desktop, you can scan that QR code to access the website, but make sure you are following on all of our different platforms. All right, let's make sure that you can see the graphic. Yes, you can. All right, good. All right, so first off, Christmas. Are we going to have white Christmas? I have to say the answer is we probably are not going to have a white Christmas this year. So looking at the map for total accumulated snowfall, this is the current time. So how much snowfall is actually going to accumulate as we go through the next few days. Now, some places across southwestern and northern Michigan have already seen some lake effect snow. This does not take that into account. This just takes into account the additional snow that you're going to receive. So if you live in the Upper Peninsula and you already have snow on the ground, most likely a lot of that snow you have up there is going to stay on the ground through Christmas. A lot of it's going to melt because it's going to get pretty warm over the next couple of days, and I'm going to go over that in just a minute. But I wanted to go through this graphic to show you how much snow is going to accumulate. The Great Lakes region really isn't going to see much unless you live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Ohio, Indiana, your chances of a white Christmas are pretty much shot. You have no shot at a white Christmas. It's just going to be too warm. We have a nice big ridge of warm air that is built into the southern part of the United States that's just not going to stop until we get through Christmas. So that's the total accumulated snowfall up until about 7 p.m. Christmas Eve. So that gives you an idea of the kind of snow that we're going to see. And the survey says not too much snow unless you live out in places such as the California mountain ranges where they're getting like 60 inches of snow. But that's a normal amount of snow for that area, so it's not anything to really be concerned about. So most of the United States is not going to be seeing snow on Christmas Day. So if you are a snow fan, I am sorry to break the news to you that that is how things are going to be. So that is the current idea of what we have in terms of snow accumulation. Now, there is going to be quite a little bit of rain Christmas Eve that we're going to talk about. It's not going to be snow, but it is most certainly going to be rain. So we will talk about that in just a momento. All right. So why are we not going to be able to see snow? Well, this is the temperatures right now, and temperatures are in the 20s across most of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio right now. We had a pretty decent cold front move through the area that really plunged the Great Lakes region into cooler temperatures. So those are not going to last, though. We've got warm front that's going to be lifting off the north. Look, you can already see it kind of changing over. And then by nighttime again tonight, temperatures start to cool down again. 7 a.m., sun starts to rise. And then look how quickly this ridge builds in from the southwest. You got temperatures in the mid-30s, low 40s across most of the Great Lakes region. And it is going to continue to get warmer on Christmas Day. So got this ridge building. Look at that. You have temperatures in the 80s down in Texas. And then temperatures really start to ramp up in the Great Lakes region on December 25th. So models are putting out, hey, it's going to be too warm for snow to be maintained. Anything that falls is really going to fall in the form of rain, unless you're in the Upper Peninsula where temperatures are at the freezing level. Now, this cold area up here, up in Canada, later on around New Year's, we might see that take a plunge into the continental United States. So we are going to go over that real quick. There is a lot of ground to cover in regards to the temperature changes that we are going to be seeing over the next few days. So that is what we have in terms of our potential for a white Christmas. Potential is pretty much 0 zilch nada unless you are in the Upper Peninsula. All right. So what am I looking at in terms of the colder air that is coming? So the colder air that's coming. This is the current map of what things look like. You had that trough that kind of just took a little dip into the Great Lakes region today, which is why we have temperatures that are currently in the 20s. So then this ridge on the western side is going to start shifting eastward. This ridge right here is what's going to bring us that warm air around Christmas, okay? So this is where we're at around Christmas time. Remember, this graphic shows you the temperature differences in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Red meaning warmer than average, blue meaning colder than average. So warmer than average temperatures are going to filter into the eastern United States on Christmas Day, leading to a favorable conditions for snowmelt and no snow in general. So this ridge is going to stick around for a couple days, in fact. Kind of just sits over the eastern United States. You got that deep cold trough in the western side, and it kind of just doesn't really change much. Not until we get into New Year's Eve, where you kind of get the trough dipping back into the Great Lakes, northern Great Lakes region. But eventually, we're going to see this trough get shifted way out of the way, and then this ridge, and then this trough is really going to start to try to push its way through into the eastern United States. Now, this model is really not showing that, but all models are really pointing to a pattern change come January that we're going to have to pay attention to in regards to colder weather. So, all right. CFS model putting out a similar type of setup. You've got that ridge building in the eastern U.S. So this model really is showing accurately our changes, but it does show something a little bit different in regards to by New Year's Eve. By New Year's Eve, we got a little bit of colder temperatures pulling in across most of the continental United States. So, will that happen really? Too soon to tell. But this model is putting out, this is an average over the last 6 model runs that we've had. And this model is really putting out that we might see some colder air by New Year's Eve. And this goes all the way to January 20th. So, really hard to forecast that far out, but still, it's interesting to look at in regards to the potential of what we're going to see. All right. Now we're going to actually get into the weather that changes. So we've looked at the trends in changes over the temperatures, but what is that going to mean for us in terms of storms and precipitation? Well, keep in mind that wherever you have these white lines crossing on your model, these white lines, that's typically where low pressure systems like to ride and deepen, because they're right on the collision point between the ridge and the trough, the warm air and the cold air, where they really tend to strengthen and follow. So that's something to be aware of as we continue to show the changes in weather that are going to happen over the next several days. So let's go back to GFS. So this is where we're at now. We've got that trough, those blue lines indicating the trough that's really dipped down into the continental United States, the Great Lakes region. So we're going to watch this ridge right here on the southwestern side shift eastward into the Great Lakes region, which it does. And on the northern edge of it, you've got some snow that may hit northern Minnesota. So northern Minnesota may have a white Christmas indeed. But places off to the west are going to see quite a bit of snow. The mountain ranges, quite a bit of snow. We, on the other hand, are going to most likely see rain. Rain, in fact, potentially on Christmas Day. So Christmas Day, it looks like some rainfall will be moving through parts of the Great Lakes region, especially the central part. So something that you might not appreciate on Christmas Day, but it looks like that's what is going to be taking place based on the current models. We'll compare it to two other models before I sign off. But rain, Christmas morning, Merry Christmas, and then you get maybe a little bit of lake effect snow on the backside on the 27th. Now this is interesting. This model puts out we might see quite a bit of snow in front of a warm front on the 27th. So the 27th we might see some snow. That's what some models are putting out. Additional rain developing, and then this right here is what we're watching. This really deep trough that just starts to shoot its way into the continental United States, the plains region. And then another winter storm potentially develops between the cold and warm areas here. And it looks like it could be an ice storm for parts of lower Michigan as of right now. So it's not just the nice powdery snow you got. It's going to be that nasty ice, but the good packing snow too. New Year's Day. This is the first day of 2022. Still kind of chilly out there. And then you've got that another potential snowfall. And again, these are going long range, so we cannot be certain of their accuracy up to this point. But it looks like we may have a winter storm potential for the 6th of January across Ohio and Indiana. So the ECMWF model, let's pull that up real quick. Kind of follows suit. You've got that trough. You got the rain on Christmas Day developing, and then potential for snow on the 27th. So it kind of follows in line with the GFS until we get out to this point. Then it forecasts a much stronger storm New Year's Eve with a lot of rain, potential for even some tornadoes. I did some forecast soundings along Tennessee and Kentucky, places that got really battered during the December 10th tornado outbreak. But it looks like there could be some tornado potential down there once again. So that's just another model. GDPS model, one I don't usually use too much, but thought would be interesting to look at. Still kind of follows suit with all the other models. But on New Year's Day, it really shifts that ridge way farther north and, in fact, puts the severe threat over Michigan, which potential for that is not likely, but it does put a rather good potential for tornadoes in Michigan. The GDPS does on New Year's Day, which honestly anything can happen. We've seen a lot in this past month, but let's hope that's not the case, because this model is also very far out, so the likelihood of this happening is rather slim. All right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. Again, most likely not a white Christmas for most of the Great Lakes region. And cooler air is going to be coming with the potential for some snow, maybe even some rain. New Year's Day, watching that very slim thunderstorm chance. So I'll keep an eye on it and make sure to stay connected once again on all of our different platforms. And I will see you all later.